Where we choose to live and how we build our communities has a huge effect on the environment around us. Every time we clear land, build roads, or start new neighborhoods, we change the land in some way. Some of those changes are small, others have long-lasting impacts on animals, ecosystems, and even the global climate. Let's look at a few big ways that human settlements affect the environment and why they matter. First, there's land use and habitat destruction. When people build houses, schools, or roads, they often need to clear away forests, wetlands, or grasslands. That means the animals and plants that live there lose their homes. Sometimes they can relocate, but often they can't. The more we spread out our communities, the more space we take away from wildlife. One of the most well-known examples of this is the Amazon rainforest. It's one of the most biodiverse places on Earth, but large parts of it have been cleared for farming, mining, or development. That's not just bad for the animals. It also affects indigenous communities who depend on the forest, and it contributes to climate change because fewer trees means less carbon dioxide being absorbed from the air. Next, we have resource consumption. That's a fancy way of saying using stuff. When people move into an area, they need electricity, water, food, gas, you name it. But those resources don't come from nowhere. If we use too much, too quickly, or waste what we have, it puts pressure on the environment. One clear example is overfishing. When people build settlements near the coast and rely heavily on fish as a food source, they can end up taking too many fish out of the water. That throws the whole ocean ecosystem off balance and harms the people who rely on fishing for their jobs. Then there's waste generation. Human settlements create a lot of garbage. From food packaging to plastic bags to old electronics, all that waste has to go somewhere. If it ends up in landfills or waterways, it can cause major problems. It pollutes the land, poisons animals, and even makes its way into our food systems. A dramatic example of this is the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. It's a floating swirl of plastic waste trapped in ocean currents twice the size of Texas. It harms sea turtles, birds, and fish, and it's not going away anytime soon. Another big impact is transportation. When we build long roads, highways, or railways, we often divide natural habitats in half. That makes it harder for animals to move around, and it can change the shape of ecosystems. Cars and trucks also create air pollution and release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere, which contributes to climate change. So what can we do about all this? It starts by understanding the direct and indirect effects of human settlement. A direct effect is something that happens immediately and clearly, like cutting down trees to build a neighborhood. An indirect effect is something that happens as a result of that first change, like an animal losing its habitat because the forest is gone. By learning to recognize both, we can better understand how everything is connected and how our choices can make a difference. Here's your challenge. You're going to create a visual impact web that shows how one settlement decision can lead to many environmental changes. To complete this challenge, you'll do this. Choose one major human settlement activity, like building a new town, expanding a highway, opening a new mine, or cutting down a forest. Create a web-style diagram that starts with that activity in the center. Use pictures and words to show at least 3 direct effects of that activity on the environment. For each direct effect, use pictures and words to show at least 2 indirect effects that happen as a result. Use arrows to connect the ideas and show how one impact leads to another. Make sure your impact web is colorful, clear, and easy to follow. Include a short summary that explains the environmental chain reaction caused by your chosen activity. Remember, this isn't just about listing problems. It's about thinking deeply. How does one change, like building a new road, start a ripple effect through the land, air, and water? Once your impact web is complete, you'll have a chance to present it and explain the environmental connections you discovered. Good luck, and get ready to follow the impacts.